Crash Course Macroeconomics, Aggregate Supply and Demand. Learn about the big picture of the economy, including aggregate supply and demand. Introduction. Welcome to Crash Course Macroeconomics, where we'll take a look at the big picture of the economy, including aggregate supply and demand. In this lesson, we'll explore how these concepts influence the overall economy, and why they're important to understand. We'll also provide some interesting examples to help you better understand these ideas. Later, we'll discuss the top 12 popular macroeconomic behaviors that apply to our daily lives, and wrap up with a poem summarizing these concepts. Aggregate supply and demand. Aggregate supply and demand are key concepts in macroeconomics that help us understand the overall state of the economy. Aggregate demand refers to the total demand for goods and services in an economy at a given time, while aggregate supply refers to the total supply of goods and services in the economy. The aggregate demand curve shows the relationship between the price level and the quantity of goods and services demanded by households, businesses, and the government. It's important to note that the aggregate demand curve slopes downward, meaning that as the price level increases, the quantity of goods and services demanded decreases, and vice versa. On the other hand, the aggregate supply curve shows the relationship between the price level and the quantity of goods and services supplied by firms. The aggregate supply curve can slope upward or downward, depending on the situation. For example, if there is excess capacity in the economy, the aggregate supply curve may be flat, meaning that an increase in the price level won't necessarily lead to an increase in the quantity of goods and services supplied. Now, let's look at an example to help illustrate these concepts. Imagine there is a sudden increase in consumer spending due to a rise in consumer confidence. This increase in spending leads to a higher demand for goods and services, causing the aggregate demand curve to shift to the right. In response, firms may increase their prices, which causes the aggregate supply curve to shift to the left. The intersection of the new aggregate supply and demand curves leads to a higher price level and a higher quantity of goods and services produced and sold. Top 12 popular macroeconomics behaviors. Now that we've covered the basics of aggregate supply and demand, let's discuss 12 popular macroeconomic behaviors that apply to our daily lives. 1. Budgeting. Creating a budget for your personal finances can help you manage your money effectively and make the most of your income. 2. Saving. Setting aside money for a rainy day or for long-term goals is an important part of macroeconomic behavior, as it contributes to overall economic stability. 3. Spending. How we spend our money has a direct impact on the economy, as it affects the demand for goods and services. 4. Investing. Investing in stocks, bonds, and other assets can help grow your wealth and contribute to the overall health of the economy. 5. Inflation. The rate at which prices for goods and services increase over time can affect our purchasing power and overall economic well-being. 6. Interest rates. The cost of borrowing money, or the interest rate, can affect how much we save, spend, and invest. 7. Gross domestic product, GDP. The total value of goods and services produced in an economy can be used as a measure of economic health and growth. 8. Unemployment. The rate of unemployment in an economy can impact consumer spending, economic growth, and overall well-being. 9. Trade. International trade can affect the overall health of the economy, as it affects the demand for goods and services produced domestically. 10. Taxes. How much we pay in taxes can impact our disposable income and overall economic well-being. 11. Fiscal policy. Government spending and taxation policies can be used to influence the overall state of the economy. 12. Monetary policy. The actions taken by central banks to influence interest rates, money supply, and credit conditions can also have a significant impact on the economy. It's important to note that these behaviors are all interconnected and can influence each other. For example, an increase in government spending, fiscal policy, can lead to an increase in inflation and interest rates, monetary policy, which can in turn impact our spending and saving behaviors. Summary. In summary, aggregate supply and demand are key concepts in macroeconomics that help us understand the overall state of the economy. The aggregate demand curve shows the relationship between the price level and the quantity of goods and services demanded, while the aggregate supply curve shows the relationship between the price level and the quantity of goods and services supplied. In addition to understanding these concepts, it's important to be aware of the 12 popular macroeconomic behaviors that apply to our daily lives. These behaviors include budgeting, saving, spending, investing, inflation, interest rates, GDP, unemployment, trade, taxes, fiscal policy, and monetary policy. By understanding how these behaviors are interconnected and impact the economy, we can make more informed decisions that contribute to our overall economic well-being. Here is a poem on macroeconomics. Aggregate supply and demand. The big picture of the land. The quantity of goods and services affects the prices that we purchase. Consumer spending on the rise. Increases demand, prices start to climb. Firms respond by raising prices. Supply curve shifts to the left and surprises. Budgeting, saving, and spending. Investing and inflation blending. Interest rates and GDP. Unemployment and trade with glee. Taxes and fiscal policies. Monetary actions with ease. These behaviors all interconnect, influencing the economy's effect. By understanding these macroeconomic ways, we can make informed decisions every day, contributing to our economic well-being, living our lives with purpose and meaning. Song on Macroeconomics. Verse 1. The economy's a big old thing. With supply and demand it swings. From high inflation to low growth. It affects us all, we can't say no. Chorus. Macroeconomics, oh so grand. Big picture thinking, we understand. The factors that move the economy. GDP, inflation, and policy. Verse 2. Fiscal policy, monetary tools. Governments act like economic ghouls. With taxes, spending, and interest rates. They try to steer the economic fates. Chorus. Macroeconomics, oh so grand. Big picture thinking, we understand. The factors that move the economy. GDP, inflation, and policy. Bridge. Trade, unemployment, and saving. All macro topics worth craving. Investing, budgeting, and spending. Behaviors that make the economy trending. Chorus. Macroeconomics, oh so grand. Big picture thinking, we understand. The factors that move the economy. GDP, inflation, and policy. Outro. So let's keep learning and growing. Understanding the economy showing. By making informed decisions, we'll create a better economic vision. Start planning your next global adventure with ease and convenience with our Booking.com referral link, https://www.booking.com/index.html. 8 = 7989335 is a great choice to plan your next trip. You can find and book flights, hotels, cars, and local attractions all in one place, and their price match guarantee ensures you're getting the best deal. Thank you for kind support our AnHub Metaverse channel, and please watch more interesting videos here.